Evangelista Torricelli, Italian, Evangelista Torricelli, listen, 1608–1647, was an Italian physicist and mathematician, best known for his invention of the barometer. Biography. Early life. Torricelli was born on the 15th of October in 1608 in Faenza in the Province of Ravenna, then part of the Papal States, the firstborn child of Gaspare Torricelli and Caterina Angetti. His father was a textile worker and the family was very poor. Seeing his talents, his parents sent him to be educated under the care of his uncle, Jacobo, a Camaldolese monk, who first ensured that his nephew was given a sound basic education. He then entered young Torricelli into a Jesuit college in 1624, possibly the one in Faenza itself, to study mathematics and philosophy until 1626, by which time his father, Gaspare, had died. The uncle then sent Torricelli to Rome to study science under the Benedictine monk Benedetto Castelli, professor of mathematics at the Collegio della Sapienza, now known as the Sapienza University of Rome. Career. In 1632, shortly after the publication of Galileo's Dialogues of the New Science, Torricelli wrote to Galileo of reading it with the delight of one who, having already practiced ball of geometry most diligently, and having studied Ptolemy, and seen almost everything of Tycho Brahe, Kepler and Longomontanus, finally, forced by the many congruences, came to adhere to Copernicus, and was a Galilean in profession and sect. The Vatican condemned Galileo in June 1633, and this was the only known occasion on which Torricelli openly declared himself to hold the Copernican view. Aside from several letters, little is known of Torricelli's activities in the years between 1632 and 1641, when Castelli sent Torricelli's monograph of the path of projectiles to Galileo, then a prisoner in his villa at Arcetri. Although Galileo promptly invited Torricelli to visit, he did not accept until just 3 months before Galileo's death. During his stay, however, he wrote out the 5th day of Galileo's discourse. After Galileo's death on the 8th of January 1642, Grand Duke Ferdinando II de' Medici asked him to succeed Galileo as the Grand Ducal mathematician and professor of mathematics at the University of Pisa. In this role he solved some of the great mathematical problems of the day, such as finding a cycloid's area and center of gravity. He also designed and built a number of telescopes and simple microscopes. Several large lenses, engraved with his name, are still preserved in Florence. On the 11th of June, 1644, he famously wrote in a letter to Michelangelo Ricci, "Noi viviamo sommersi nel fondo d'un pelago d'aria, we live submerged at the bottom of an ocean of airs." Death. Torricelli died in Florence on the 25th of October 1647, a few days after having contracted typhoid fever, and was buried at the Basilica of San Lorenzo. The asteroid 7437 Torricelli was named in his honor. He left all his belongings to his adopted son Alexander. Torricelli's work in physics. The perusal of Galileo's 2 New Sciences, 1638, inspired him with many developments of the mechanical principles there set forth, which he embodied in a treatise De Motu, printed amongst his Opera Geometrica, 1644. Its communication by Castelli to Galileo in 1641, with a proposal that Torricelli should reside with him, led to Torricelli repairing to Florence, where he met Galileo, and acted as his amanuensis during the 3 remaining months of his life. Barometer. Torricelli's chief invention was the mercury barometer, which arose from solving a practical problem. Pump makers of the Grand Duke of Tuscany attempted to raise water to a height of 12 meters or more, but found that 10 meters was the limit with a suction pump. Torricelli employed mercury, 14 times more dense than water. In 1643 he created a tube approximately 1 meter long, sealed at the top, filled it with mercury, and set it vertically into a basin of mercury. The column of mercury fell to about 76 centimeters, leaving a Torricellian vacuum above. As we now know, the column's height fluctuated with changing atmospheric pressure. This was the first barometer. The discovery of the principle of the barometer has perpetuated his fame. Torricellian tube, Torricellian vacuum. The torr, a unit of pressure used in vacuum measurements, is named after him. Torricelli's law. Torricelli also discovered Torricelli's law, regarding the speed of a fluid flowing out of an opening, which was later shown to be a particular case of Bernoulli's principle. Cause of wind. Torricelli gave the first scientific description of the cause of wind. Winds are produced by differences of air temperature, and hence density, between two regions of the Earth. Torricelli's work in mathematics. Torricelli is also famous for the discovery of the Torricelli's trumpet, also, perhaps more often, known as Gabriel's horn, whose surface area is infinite, but whose volume is finite. This was seen as an incredible paradox by many at the time, including Torricelli himself, and prompted a fierce controversy about the nature of infinity, also involving the philosopher Hobbes. It is supposed by some to have led to the idea of a completed infinity. Torricelli tried several alternative proofs, attempting to prove its surface area to actually was finite, all of which failed. Torricelli was also a pioneer in the area of infinite series. In his D-dimensional parabole of 1644, Torricelli considered a decreasing sequence of positive terms, and showed the corresponding telescoping series necessarily converges to, where L is the limit of the sequence, and in this way, gives a proof of the formula for the sum of a geometric series.